50 million in gold vanishes, Beijing's China gold store left empty. Second mountain fire hits Guizhou, residents forced to evacuate in the dead of night. Shanghai 2024, white-collar workers turn to packing lunches, high-end malls shut down. Wealth shrinks 9%, Zhong Shanshan remains China's richest, Jack Ma drops out of top 10. Fearing assassination by associates, CCP leader tightens control over Red second generation. It's all covered in today's China Truths. 50 million in gold vanishes, Beijing's China gold store left empty. Recently, a China gold concept store in Beijing's Chaoyang district unexpectedly shut down, leaving its customers in the lurch with no way to get back the gold they had either ordered or left in the store's care, valued at a whopping 50 million yuan, about $6.9 million. One customer shared with Daily Economic News that, by January 2024, a rights protection group had tallied up about 60 kilograms of gold that around 40 people couldn't withdraw. Given the Chinese tradition of valuing gold, especially amidst the recent economic slowdown, wealthier folks have been looking to gold as a safe haven for their assets, creating a demand for gold custody services. One customer's document from the store, a worry-free one-year extended gift guarantee slip, highlighted that the store promised an additional 2.5% in gold weight for gold stored with them over a year. This meant that for every 400 grams of gold kept, the store would give back 10 grams after a year. For context, the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, as of December 22, 2023, had an annual interest rate of 1.45% for one-year deposits and 2% for five-year deposits. When the store closed, leaving many customers high and dry, they tried to take their complaints to the state-owned China Gold Group Corporation, the parent company. However, they were told the store was just a franchise. Even so, the worry-free gold bar investment reservation certificate from the store clearly stated that it was backed by the China Gold Group Corporation, a major player in the country's gold industry. One of the victims, Mr. Ding, noted that China Gold's response evolved over time. Initially, they outright denied any responsibility, blaming the franchise nature of the store. But after the Chinese New Year, they began to acknowledge their role, though without specifying the extent of their responsibility, leaving many details up in the air. This has led some to question whether being a franchise really lets China Gold off the hook, considering it's a well-known chain brand. China Gold's 2022 annual report shows it has 3,642 stores, with only 105 directly owned and the rest being franchises, making up about 97.12% of its network. In light of these events, lawyer Shanshan pointed out that by offering gold custody services and promising returns despite market fluctuations, which is against financial regulations, the store demonstrated a clear intent for illegal possession. Victims have the right to file a criminal report with the local Public Securities Economic Investigation Unit to defend their rights. Second mountain fire hits Guizhou, residents forced to evacuate in the dead of night. At around 7 p.m. on the night of March 23, Qinglong County in Guizhou was struck by another wildfire. The fire was raging, essentially turning the whole mountain into a blaze and putting the buildings below at risk. Firefighters were on the scene trying to beat back the flames, but it kept spreading. The next day, the Emergency Bureau in Qinglong County reported that they had evacuated people from the area overnight. They're still battling the fire, but no injuries or fatalities have been reported. Back on February 22, Qinglong County had to deal with a wildfire too. And right now, there's another fire in Yajiang, Sichuan, that's been burning for more than a week without any sign of stopping. The string of wildfires has folks online wondering what's going on. Guizhou's had to face this twice already this year. Why is it always happening in Yunnan, Guizhou, or the south? Why are these fires so big and happening so often? Something feels off about this year. I can't quite say what it is, but why are there so many fires? Shanghai 2024, white-collar workers turn to packing lunches, high-end malls shut down. Less than 3 months after 2024, folks have already pegged the top 10 shifts happening in Shanghai, spotlighting the ongoing slump in China's economy and how people are tightening their belts. The information was given by an individual who's been wandering around Shanghai for over a decade and now calls it home. The article hit the headlines on March 24 by mainland press, dubbed Red Dust's Zen sayings. 1. White-collar workers are packing their own lunches. This individual, who clocks in at an office tower and is part of the white-collar crowd, noted that there used to be a go-to Japanese spot right under his office building. Back in the day, his workmates would normally drop 40 to 50 yuan, about $6.93, on takeout or a sit-down lunch at this Japanese joint. But this year, it's like a lot of folks in the office world who no longer care about face and started bringing lunch from home. That Japanese restaurant? It had to shut down because it ran out of patrons. 2. Takeout getting to you quicker than ever. Even at what used to be the busiest times for ordering food, deliveries are zipping along at record speed. He figures this speedy service is probably because there are fewer orders coming in, what with more people bringing their own lunches, plus there seems to be an uptick in the number of people delivering food. 3. Office buildings waive rent fee. From what another friend in the Shanghai leasing biz has shared, some office spaces are being handed over for next to nothing. Tenants just need to cover utilities and maintenance fees, without a rent charge or maybe just a token one. The rationale? If these spaces stay empty, it's the owners who are stuck paying those maintenance bills. And it's not just a Shanghai thing, he's heard that the office space market in Beijing is facing a similar situation. 4. Top-tier malls are shutting down. A bunch of upscale malls have shut their doors, including the Pacific department store smack in the middle of Shanghai's Guizhou shopping district. Pacific Department Store, a Taiwanese operation that's been in Shanghai for 30 years and once ranked among the city's luxe shopping spots, wound down its operations at the end of last August. Located in a prime spot within the Guizhou shopping hub, the Suwei branch of Pacific Department Store kicked off in 1993 and quickly became a hit landmark in Shanghai. Part of the Far Eastern Group's retail network, Pacific Department Store once had 3 branches across Shanghai in Huaihai, the Eternal City, and Suwei. The Huaihai and Eternal City branches closed down when their leases ran out in 2016 and 2020, respectively. 5. Job hopping isn't the hot topic anymore. Back in the day, in the circles of buddies, friends, and family, especially those groups filled with young folks, there was all this buzz about switching jobs, getting raises, climbing the ladder, and finding new gigs. But this year, since they all got back to the grind after New Year's, not a peep about any of that has been shared. In fact, someone straight up announced in the group, "Don't hit him up for any get-togethers, he's gotta buckle down and secure his job." 6. Catching a cab got easier. Catching a taxi in Shanghai has become a breeze, even during rush hours. You get your ride confirmed in seconds, and often you can snag a luxury car ride at bargain prices. This scenario used to be out of the question. Back when you needed a taxi app, you were basically signing up for a wait list. This suggests there's a surge in folks doing part-time gigs with Didi Chuxing, the ride-hailing app. 7. Travel talks have tapered off. It looks like everyone's subtly low-key manner their budgets. 8. The second-hand housing market stalled. Lately, all you hear about is people trying to sell their homes, not buy. Statistics for February 2024 show only 6,800 units of second-hand housing were sold in Shanghai, with an average price of 38,633 yuan per square meter, a 9% drop from January. Compare that to February 2023, when Shanghai moved 19,000 units of second-hand housing. 9. Loan spam calls on the rise. Now, it's normal to get hit with 8 to 9 loan solicitation calls daily, a sharp increase from last year's 1 or 2 calls. This hints at the personal info getting leaked, a rise in scam artists, and lots of people turning to any means necessary to make a buck, including scamming or pushing loans. The individual gives advice that doesn't just pick up calls from numbers you don't recognize. 10. Spotting of foreigners become rare. There was a time when Shanghai's streets were bustling with foreigners. The city boasted over 1 million at its peak. But now, spotting a foreigner on the Bund or the city's walking streets is a rarity. To wrap it up, these signs show that the economic vibes are low, money's tight, jobs are scarce, and practical folks are starting to look for ways to make extra cash and slash expenses, avoiding unnecessary spending wherever possible. Wealth shrinks 9%, Nongfu Springs founder remains China's richest, Jack Ma drops out of top 10. On March 25, the Hurwin Research Institute rolled out the 2024 Hurwin Global Rich List, setting January 15, 2024, as the deadline for the wealth tally. According to the list, the globe welcomed 167 new billionaires in US dollars, with the lion's share of 109 coming from the US. Meanwhile, China saw a decline of 155. Since hitting its peak in 2022, about 450 Chinese billionaires in US dollars have vanished from the list over the last 2 years. Zhong Shanshan, at 70, witnessed his fortune shrink by 9% from the previous year, landing at 450 billion yuan, about $62.4 billion US dollars, and securing the spot as China's richest for the 4th straight time. Globally, he's ranked 21st, dropping 6 spots. While his Nongfu Spring company enjoyed a profit surge, his other publicly traded venture, Wantai Biological, faced a downturn in performance over the last year. The company's stock price plummeted nearly 30%, slashing the company's market valuation by 35 billion yuan, about $4.8 billion US dollars, from the year before. Pinduoduo's 44-year-old founder, Huang Jing, enjoyed a wealth surge of 71% from last year, reaching 160 billion yuan, about $22.2 billion US dollars, and escalating to China's second wealthiest with a fortune of 385 billion yuan, about $53.4 billion US dollars, climbing 3 places. Last November, Pinduoduo's market cap briefly surpassed Alibaba's. Tencent's mastermind, 53-year-old Ma Huadeng, experienced a 10% decrease in his wealth from last year, amounting to 250 billion yuan, about $34.6 billion US dollars, and positioning him third in China. Notably, China's once richest man, Jack Ma, has dropped to the 11th spot, with his wealth diminishing by 16% to 150 billion yuan, about $20.78 billion US dollars. Fearing assassination by associates, CCP leader tightens control over Red Second Generation. Recently, it came out that former Chinese Air Force General Liu Yizhou got hit with a life sentence. Word on the street is that CCP leader Xi Jinping, paranoid about getting offed by folks in his inner circle, is keeping a tight leash on the so-called second-generation Reds. Commenting on the news, Wang Huntao, a Chinese political scientist living in the States, said he was surprised when this news was first disclosed from outside of China because he was just casually chatting with his friends from China. This was confirmed. Regarding Liu Yizhou, he's married to the daughter of former Chinese President Li Xinyan and comes from an elite red and military family. He used to run the political department for the Beijing Military Region's Air Force. Liu became a general back in 2012. Now, with him getting sentenced and all, folks are scratching their heads over why. Mr. Su Ziyun, head honcho at the Institute of National Defense and Security Research over in Taiwan, said, Liu Yizhou's kinda like the black sheep in the CCP, voicing stuff like the People's Liberation Army, PLA, might not stack up against the US, and that taking Taiwan could be a no-go with a big chance of flopping. Another angle is she's looking to cut down these second-gen Reds, kind of a kill the chicken to scare the monkey vibe. Wang Huntao added, to a lot of people, Liu seemed like one of the more forward-thinking generals. His takes on stuff like the Taiwan Strait situation, how to build up China's military, and what the second-gen Reds should be about didn't really jive with Xi's. So, axing him might be Xi's play to silence that kind of thinking in the ranks, especially among the military's Reds. On March 23, well-known independent critic Kai Shinkwin posted on the X platform, saying Lu's hush hush, harsh sentencing is she tearing it up with the red nobility, turning what used to be the party's domain into his own family-run show. Wang Huntao also pointed out that even though she's got the reins, he's looking sideways at anyone with a bit of clout, scared stiff of getting taken out. He said, Xi Jinping is eyeing everyone with power, pretty much suspicious of the lot. Now, he keeps his travel plans under wraps, paranoid about someone laying a trap. Yet, the think tank says, when the moment's right, those in the CCP fed up with how things are will come together for a major pushback. According to Mr. Su Ziyun, all that discontent? It's going underground. The folks not buying what she's selling, along with their cliques, are ready to band together. They're just waiting for the right moment. Let us know your thoughts on today's topic by leaving a comment below. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend. It inspires us to continue creating more quality and reliable content. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting insights from China Truths. Thanks for tuning in.